Welcome back to the trailer build series. It's episode number 3, and as you can already see, we've had quite a lot of things done to it now, and we've still got a lot to do. So in this episode, we're going to paint the wheels. We're going to attempt to start making the interior section at the back where everything's getting stored, and we're also going to give you an update on what's been changed, because as you can see, it's been painted, there's new lights, there's a roof tent, there's quite a lot that's been done to it. So we'll start off going over what's been done, and first of all, let's start with the biggest change, which is clearly, well, it's been painted. Now, first things first, you'll notice the biggest change of all, which is the fact it's now black. We painted it in Raptor paint, which is like a tough, durable paint where it's sort of, you can't really scratch it, it doesn't mark. And to be honest, it's exactly what I wanted, because with it having such a texture in it, it matches to a degree the bottom quarter of the Grand California. So one of the biggest things I needed to change, because I hated them with the lights, because all trailers have dead old-fashioned ugly lights, generally speaking, from what I found. So we replaced them with these. They're both LED. They've got the scrolling indicators, as well as these side markers, which are a rubbery feeling, which I wasn't that keen on previously, but once I fitted them and everything else is black, they just look really good. I still can't see them out the mirror unless I'm turning, because the trailer's a lot narrower than the camper van is, but it looks mint. So these are the utility lights. We've got one there, and the same on the other side. They are ridiculously bright. They're not actually wired in anymore now, because it's going to be wired into the electrical panel, which we've taken out for the time being while we figure out what we're doing with it. But we've got them on each side, and we'll be wiring them into sort of the left and the right side, so we can switch either or on or off. They're not all stuck on together. And yeah, they do cast a massively wide angle, sort of wide arc of light, which is perfect for what we need. Now, as everyone knows, originally I went for the 10 box light black edition because, well, it fit perfectly and it was exactly what I was after. But I've had tons of issues with 10 box since then, that much so that I've actually got a video coming out about it. But I changed to the Fuel Tepui. It's a 3-man tent. I'm not going to get it out now because, well, we're busy going to take some wheels off and I've got loads of other stuff to do. But here are a couple of photographs of what it was like when we got it out yesterday. Now, the biggest issue with it currently is I don't have any leveling sort of stands on each corner, which, well, we got ones that were too small, so they wouldn't really reach the floor, which is kind of pointless with leveling jacks. So anyway, they're coming by the end of this week, so we will have them fitted, because at the minute you can't really use the roof tent because, well, the trailer will just roll around, which is not ideal. But I'm dead happy with it. It's a piece of cake to put up. Obviously folds it open. To be honest, from what I've seen, most roof tents are pretty easy to put up. 3-man, again, it's like any tent where they say 3-man, it's technically 2, plus there's a bit extra space. So for the kids, it should be enough. We'll sharp find out, because we'll be able to hear them arguing non-stop. We did get their boot bag as an extra, so when they climb up, they're not muddy in the inside straight away, and they can put the shoes inside the boot bag. So now we've covered all the bits that's been done, I need to wheel the trailer into where the logs get stored so we can try and get these wheels off. I haven't really got anything to jack it up, so we're just going to stack some wood underneath, take them off, give them a clean and start getting them painted before we start trying to make, well, the wooden stuff. The trailer is, however, getting relatively heavy now, so I need to look at a solution on how to move it. Out in what used to be a geothermal shed, and now it gets used for, well, mainly for rats to turn over the flour that the kids left in here with the door open. But other than that, it gets used for painting. So I've just painted, I haven't just painted, so I've just washed the wheels, sort of dish soap, gets rid of loads of the grease. Got some tack cloths, some other bits, some etch primer. We're going to get these painted. Maybe it's 2 to 3 coats of primer, depending on coverage. I'm waiting for the black paint to come. That's going matte black. A few coats of that. And then plenty of matte lacquer. And then hopefully these will tie in a little bit better with the camper van, because at the minute the grey wheels just, well, they don't really suit anything. Let's get cracking. Both wheels have now had 2 coats of primer. I'm happy with where they are. I'll let them dry. The black paint still hasn't come yet though, which is a bit of a pain. so it's coming at some point later on. So when that comes, get a few coats of black on and then go from there. So while we wait for the black, let's go and start trying to figure out what we're going to do with the interior of the camper, not the camper, the trailer. Right, so now we're in the log store area. There's a pigeon literally nesting up there above where the brown bird did that time. And these nails, she just stares at us the whole time. But anyway, got all this wood to play with. This isn't going to be the sort of permanent build or anything. What we want to do is mount some wood and stick some in the corner just so we can use that to screw things into, so I'm not drilling into the metal frame or anything for the time being. Just come up with a rough idea of kind of where we want things. I know we're going to have a drawer that pulls out here and other stuff, but see what we can come up with, and then essentially, well, we'll go from there. We're just going to wing it really and just see what we think as we go. Well, it's the next day, and as you can see, things look completely different. We built out a sort of mock frame out of some timber that I had lying around in the wood store, and to be honest, I was happy with it. So we thought, let's just go and get some proper wood, build out the frame, and then I got some marine ply, which is in the back of the van. It's massive, it weighs a ton, and that's what's basically being used to create the compartments and everything else. So we're going to crack on with that today. I also painted the wheels, which you can see here. Again, rattle cannon is never going to give you the sort of finish that powder coating and everything else will, unless you're really, really good at it, which I'm not. But they look better at black, so that's that done. Well, so after about 6 hours of swearing, cutting myself, dropping stuff, arguments, and trying to ignore the children, we're eventually there. It's not 100% finished because there's certain things that we can't really button up yet because we still need access for all the electrical stuff and the water pump and all the rest of it, but most of the compartments are done. Now what we've decided to do is to do like an inner skin, then we'll have an outer skin, especially around the dogs, and then we'll have some insulation in between, which we'll pick up in the meantime. A couple of cubby holes and some other stuff. So I'll move the camera around and let's have a look firstly at the dogs area. So anyway, this is the dogs area. It might not look particularly big, but we actually have the sort of a pop-up kennel what the dogs sleep in the camper van, and they stay in it when we're not there. This is twice that size. Obviously they're only literally coming here to go to bed. They all lie on top of each other 24/7, and there's enough space for the three of them to sprawl out. Mainly the reason we're putting the insulation in is obviously to just keep it warm in the winter, and obviously to keep the sun out a little bit more in the summer. There will be some air vents and stuff, not that it's airtight anyway, so that shouldn't be a problem. I'm going to stick like a bit of a membrane around it just so we can brush it down and clean it a lot easier. Had a little test fit of the dogs. I'll put the clip on now, and as you can see, they fit no problem whatsoever. It's tall enough for them to stand up in there, and this is literally just for where they'll sleep on a night time, and that's it. They won't travel in here, and they'll not ever really be in here other than for bed. This area may end up being used for storage when we haven't got the dogs, or if we need some extra storage for longer trips. Anyway, let's go around to the other side. So this area is just quite a big storage cupboard, as you can see. This will be used for general stuff. This one, currently it goes from front to back, and it probably won't by the time it's finished, and it'll also have a table which is attached with really, really heavy duty. I went a little bit over the top of the heavy duty runners. They'll be fixed either side, and it'll open the other way. When that opens, it'll give us access to all the stuff under here. However, there will be a shelf on top with storage. So this side essentially will mimic this, just not as deep. as that is currently. This side around here is, well, this, I'm not going to build anything out into here just yet because this is where the electrical panel and the water filling area will be. So the water filler will be here, the water sort of extractor type nozzle will go here. Above it we'll have the electrical system, which will then be hooked into the battery, which will be at the bottom once the electrical thing's done. Again, there's no huge urgency to get that done though, because we haven't really got anything planned for that, and it's just a bit of a luxury. But again, this is where the table will pull out. It'll literally pull out the full length, so it'll be basically a metre that the table pulls out. Thin but long, just really so you've got an outside cooking area. I've been getting like a little gas stove thing which we'll cook outside with. Above it, again, this will be split into two, so it'll be two storage areas. Initially, what I'm probably going to do is storage boxes, just until we figure out everything. I don't want to fix too much in on the inside that I'm not 100% sure on, and things like the chemical toilet cassettes and stuff. I'm not sure just yet. So for the time being, it'll be storage boxes more than likely. Now the video itself may have been a little bit vague towards the end, and I apologise for that, but to be fair, because we're not really confident at this kind of stuff, we've really just tried to focus on just getting this done. I've tried leaving the camera doing time lapses, the batteries ran out and everything, I forgot it was there. But ultimately, again, I know people find that sort of thing and, well, entertaining, but it's not like you're going to learn anything from what I'm doing. So hopefully you're okay with that. But this is where we're at up to now. Hopefully by the end of this week, it'll look completely different. We've got some custom stuff getting made in that as well. This is just the inners. The outside's what makes it. But thanks for watching. In the next update, things will be changing even more. We're getting there. We're also getting heavy though. This is now a bit of a pig to move, so we might have to look at a solution for that as well. But thanks for watching. We'll see you in the next one.